Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you guys loot from 1,000 last man standing points. About 5 months ago, I did a video called Loot from 10 Hours of LMS, and I did acquire about 300 points in that video. Apologies for the thunder in the background. But here in this video, this has been some casual last man standing throughout the last couple of months, and I've been gaining some points and keeping them all just for this one video to see how much profit I can make off of 1,000 points here. I would say this roughly took about 35 hours to complete, and I enjoyed every single second of it. I would do an hour here, an hour there. I don't think I've ever stayed here longer than an hour other than the 10-hour loot video in those 2 days. I just look at last man standing as a very nice, relaxing thing to do when you're on the grind. For example, right now I'm working on 1,000 Barrows chests, and I'm like 600 chests in, and it's taken forever. So whenever I get a little bit stressed, I just come on over to last man standing, and I get some kills, whether it's as the 1 defense setup or the 45 defense setup, or of course the main setup. Personally, I love the 1 defense setup the best. I think those fights are the most exciting, and it definitely is a lot fast-paced compared to the other builds. You guys seem to have really liked the last man standing video. See what I did there, but this will definitely be the final video in this last man standing series, because I just really wanted to see what 1,000 points looks like translated to GP. And although I still need to finish the collection log here, this is something that even if I do somehow complete the whole collection log, I don't see myself ever not, coming back to last man standing. I really just see it as a great thing to do for a few minutes here and there, maybe an hour at a time, and it always increases my PKing abilities. So, if I ever want to do that in the future in a PVMing video in the wilderness, I can definitely get better at switching and whatnot. So I'm definitely a big fan of last man standing. I would say the only problem with it is that there is a lot of bots, but it really depends on what time you go there and what day it is, because for the last 3 days there's been nothing but normal players, and it's been very competitive, and I have died more than the last 3 days than I think I have and all of the time I've spent at last man standing. But then of course, prior to those 3 days there was a huge flux of bots, and sometimes I would be one of maybe 4 real players in a last man standing game, and then the other 20 would be bots, which range from like 50 combat to 70 combat. It just depends. I mean, you do have to have a certain total level to enter last man standing, and honestly I just don't know why people bot there. I don't know how much money they make an hour, and I don't know if they get banned or not. It's one of the few bots that I really have no idea about. If you guys know more about LMS bots, feel free to leave it in the description, or the comments section I should say, below. Maybe you know how much money they make and why they do what they do, if they get banned a lot. Maybe you recognize the same username after months and months. Me personally, I just see a huge amount of them just depending on what time it is and what day it is. But overall, last man standing, a great minigame. In this minigame, you can pretty much just practice your PKing abilities when it comes to switching and just different styles of fighting. You have magic, range, and melee. As I mentioned before, the 1 defense build is definitely my favorite. I feel like that's most people's favorites as it goes for LMS, and the most boring would be the main build. I think when you're 75 defense and you have just, Set of Mystic and Black D'Hide with the Whip and Nezzy, I find it much easier and much faster to kill people when you're at 1 defense with a Dragon Dagger special attack rather than when you're 75 or whatnot. So yeah, what you're seeing on screen here is just a compilation of some fights I had throughout the last couple of months. As you can see, when I searched that loot chest, I only got a Seer's ring and a Torax helmet. So yeah, sometimes you don't get the best things from that. My ideal weapon here would be the Elder Maul and the Granite Maul. I just absolutely love that Granite Maul special attack. It's like they almost never see it coming, and even with 75 defense, sometimes you can pull off a miracle and hit incredibly high, and it makes for a really cool moment. That volatile staff is also very deadly, but you will hit a lot of zeros with that sometimes too, even if they aren't praying magic, but then occasionally you'll hit over a 70, and that is incredible as well. So it's really nice to PK with things that I don't have in the main game, especially the Morgan's Javelins. I know that they are now in Bounty Hunter if you have access to them, and they are just incredible. I feel like I use that word every sentence, but it's just so awesome to use these weapons that yeah, I can't really use in the normal wilderness. For the longest time, I loved using Dragon Claws, but now I think they're overrated. You know, it's just not as exciting as the Granite Maul, or even if you want to get a little weird, you can go with the Dark Bow spec, which I love when people do that. You can just kind of tell that person's using the Dark Bow just to switch things up. And yeah, for the most part it works, especially on bots, but unless they're praying range, which some of these bots, you know, they overhead pray the whole time. It's really annoying, but I guess they want to last as long as they can. Don't we all? But yeah, the Zerite crossbow, also an incredible feature here. Probably I would use that over the Morgan's javelins, but other than that, I'll stick with those javelins over anything. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about Last Man Standing. Have you ever tried it out before? Are you a fan of it? Is it something that you just don't care about at all? Let me know in the comments section below. And remember, if you need a new PC, you can click that link in the description and save 5% off anything at ironsidecomputers.com. Trying to get a contract renewal in about a month from now, so I figured I'd throw that out there. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good as you're enjoying this footage. A little background music in there for you, and I want to let you guys know that in about 2 days from now, I'll have loot from 1000 Herbivore ready to go on my Iron Man account for you all, and hopefully following that in a few days, I will have 1000 Barrows chest ready to show you guys, because prices have changed a lot since 2019, and I'm excited to show you guys all of the loot and just a massive amount of elite clue scrolls that I've gotten. Try not to spoil too much, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting video. Very pumped for that. It's been a long-term project of mine, and I never get tired of Barrows. You know, I just love Barrows, even though there's bots there with 15k KC, but that's okay. I feel like there's bots everywhere, you know, even at the weirdest places, there's just gonna be someone botting. And you know, another thing I love about Last Man Standing, if you are just like me and you have no access to the Inferno Cape, well, that's the wrong wording, I'd say, you haven't gotten the Inferno Cape yet, well, fear not. You can get an Inferno Cape in Last Man Standing, and you don't even have to kill Zuck for it. So it's really awesome to wear that while I'm doing these LMS fights. It really makes your strength bonus incredible. There's that word again, and it's just awesome. So yeah, really a nice feature of LMS with that. And one thing I haven't seen for a very long time is the Statius Warhammer, but yet I always see the Vesta's Longsword in LMS from, you know, maybe a magic crate or just a loot key, and that combined with the Void Waker, definitely incredible special attack weapons. But I'd say out of all three of them, the Statius Warhammer is my favorite for some reason. I mean, I like getting the Vestas Longsword on a 1 defense build, but I have no defender, you know, so I feel like I don't hit as high. But yeah, that Statius Warhammer is incredible, and it lowers the opponent's defense, so yeah, it's just awesome to see that. Staff of Dead works really well too when you want to be up close with someone and act like you're going to mage them, but you actually melee them. So I'd say that's a huge plus in LMS. I always try to get that. Sometimes I'll even use a Staff of Dead over a Kodai Wand, depending on what the build is. One thing about LMS that does stand out is that occasionally you'll run into some toxic people. You know, you might get insulted here and there. You might get someone blowing a raspberry as you die, and those things can be expected. I myself try never to insult anyone because it's not good and it never gets you anywhere, but I think I did call someone a loser. You know, it's true. They might be watching this video, and if you are that person, I apologize. You know, sometimes it's just a lot, you know, I get it in the moment and I don't know what to do. So yeah, but no, I'm just kidding. I really I try my best not to be toxic, but you know, you might run into that. So if it bothers you, I'd say turn your public chat off, but you do have people here that cast vengeance, and if you have your public chat turned off, you can't see when they cast vengeance, and that could get you killed. So you actually, you know, you kind of have to force yourself to keep it on. So, you know, but just be wary of that. You know, you might get insulted here and there. People tend to get upset when they die a stupid way, or, you know, so they think, but just be the better person. You never know how someone's day is going, so your insult might just be the cherry on top of a horrible ice cream sundae. I don't know what I'm even saying anymore, but hey, this video's almost over. We're wrapping things up. I mean, you guys, you're not gonna believe what happens pretty soon here with all of my Last Man Standing points. Let's just say I made a mistake, but the good thing about this mistake is that you guys can learn from it and you don't have to repeat it. So just be on the lookout on how you spend your Last Man Standing points, because the way I went about it was I looked at the old school RuneScape wiki and I went to the Last Man Standing reward chest, and I basically just read all of the potential rewards that you can cash in on and the amount of GP per point that these rewards were worth. In other words, it was showing me what the most valuable items were to buy with your Last Man Standing points and how you can capitalize on making the most profit possible. I was going to say something else there, but I decided not to. So with that being said, these 1,000 last man standing points are going to be all spent here very shortly. And the real question is, what did I spend them on? Well, here we are. Loot from 1,000 last man standing points has been completed. This kill marked 1,000, and then I killed someone after this, so I have 1,001 points now. But looking at the old school RuneScape wiki, it seems like the target teleport scroll will net me the most profit, 250 points per, and it's showing that it's over 9 million GP on the RuneScape wiki. So I unfortunately trusted that, and then I soon found out that the 9 million GP was actually 6.5 million GP. So yeah, from 9.3 mil a scroll to 6.5 mil a scroll, I lost out on quite a lot of money. So this is definitely not the most profitable item you can buy. I'm really not sure what the most profitable thing is to buy, because I don't know how much I can trust the wiki versus Grand Exchange prices, but the Maul Granite Clamp looks pretty profitable, as well as the Maul Handle and some ward upgrade kits and some other things, but it definitely is not the target teleport scroll. So with all that being said, at least I still made some profit, and I got to practice my PKing quite a bit throughout these last few months. So what are you waiting for? Try out Last Man Standing today while there's no bots. If you're watching this video a couple days or weeks from when it was uploaded, there might be bots again, but for now it's pretty clean. Well, a huge thank you to the YouTube channel members, with a special shout out to Matthew, Stivers, Angelzblood, DeceptionZ, and xXzoticx OSRS. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for everything. Mr. No Sleep out.